to Talking with Springfield Township. We have in our studio today Arts Connect Executive Director Kimberly Flam with sculptor Micah Landers. And the reason that they are here is there is a new project in Springfield Township, and they're going to tell us a little bit about it. So thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it. Kim, I want you to start out by telling us what this project is and why the township thought we needed to do this.
This is really, really exciting. We are actually going to be getting the township's very first sculpture ever. So it's super exciting. But it's a little bit more than just a sculpture. It's a placemaking project. So as many people know, Springfield Township, if you live there, a lot of people say, where do you live? And they say, I live in Finneytown, or I live in Pleasant Run Farms, or I live in Seven Hills, or I live, wherever the neighborhood is. And we have been really trying to create that identity and letting people know that you are in Springfield Township at various places within the community. And so through the community master plan process, which we did years ago, we talked about placemaking and creating these community gateways. And one of our biggest community gateway is the intersection of Winton and Galbraith. So on the side where Walgreens is, there is the Springfield Township sign. But we've just had kind of landscaping on all of the corners, and it's not really a big statement. We've also spent a lot of time building an arts community. And if you notice, there is a Charley Harper banner project that goes twice a year on Winton Road. And so it made a lot of sense when an opportunity presented itself to bring a sculpture. Let's do it in a community gateway area, and maybe let's celebrate our arts legacy, which is that of Charley Harper.
So I get why we have that location to create the recognition, and this is the township. Why Charley Harper? And there's a lot of Charley Harper celebrated, like you said, the banners that go up, but also at the Arts Connect building. There's a lot of Charley Harper wonderful things there. So why Charley Harper?
So as a lot of people know and have stories, Charley Harper is a world-renowned artist and lived in Springfield Township, raised his family for over 50 years. So it is kind of our famous person, of the township. And there are so many positive stories around Charley. His artwork all was inspired by nature. And that's also very symbolic of Springfield Township. When we did the street banner projects, it was just all positive. The stories that flooded in about him were just heartwarming, and he's just a really feel-good kind of artist, and his work resonates just as much as it does today as it did in the 60s, and it just transcends time.
And I think I'll just mention that for folks that aren't sure, do I know who Charley Harper is? A lot of the imagery around the Great Parks District, Winton Woods, and the cardinal that we see, that's Charley Harper.
The cardinal, the ladybug. Yes. He has done renditions of, I would say, probably every nature species out there.
So now we know why that space and why Charley Harper. So let's talk about when you decided to bring in Micah.
Well, Arts Connect got an invitation first to apply for a grant, and it was through Ohio Arts Council. So I want to make sure that that is clear. Without this grant, this project would never be possible. And they were doing an arts resiliency initiative, and that was to provide funding for artists, especially coming straight after COVID. So we applied for this grant. It was a very, very highly competitive grant and was awarded $15,000 for our overall project. The overall project would be that we would put out a call to artists, get concepts for sculpture that would go in our community gateway area, and actually present it. Part of the requirements is that it had to have public involvement, public engagement with it. And so we did do a call to artists. We put that out in January. We got about, I believe, 6 applicants, and Micah's rose to the top very quickly. It was a really impressive application.
So Micah, what about this project made you think, I would like to be part of this?
It was it was really just the idea that I came up with, honestly. I mean, I've been a fan of Charley Harper I grew up in this area. I've been a fan of Charley Harper forever. I have friends whose kids are named after Charley Harper. As we've been working on this project, I'll go, mention to someone, hey, I'm doing this project about Charley Harper, and they're like, well, come in here. They show me their other room. They've got prints on every wall of his artwork. So when I heard about the specific piece that they were looking for, to me, it just seemed like a really fun problem. Charley Harper is known for very two-dimensional, intentionally, aggressively two-dimensional pieces of art, where he kind of said, how do I simplify this as much as possible to the most basic shapes and make it something that people immediately recognize and they're still drawn to, and say, you can see a whole landscape where he just used simple circles and curves and things like that. I'm a sculptor, so I work with three-dimensional shapes. So to try to figure out how do we make something three-dimensional that very clearly references two-dimensional art, but that stands on its own as something you want to look at, both because of the three-dimensionality of it and the interesting shapes it provides, and then also because of the fact that it references Charley Harper so clearly, was just a head-scratcher, right? How in the world can I make a three-dimensional sculpture that is very two-dimensional? So came up with a cool idea, and it just kind of was like a bolt of lightning thing, and got hold of Kim and actually sent her a video, because I was like, I don't know that I can explain this with just a picture or just, by writing about it. The idea was really fun to me. So that was kind of how we got connected. I was just really excited about the idea I had, and after we talked a few times, like she said, it kind of seemed like it was the perfect fit for what they were looking for. So
Now, I'm not going to show, at this point, you might think that I was going to show you what this looked like, but the unveiling hasn't happened yet. So when is the time that the public can go see how he solved this two-dimensional to three-dimensional problem?
So Saturday, October the 8th, we're going to have our dedication, and it starts at 10:30 in the morning. It's just going to be an hour. We'll be able to hear from Micah, some of our trustees, myself, and Brett Harper. Charley's son will be there. He's been very instrumental in this, and actually even picking what the final design would be. We did have a board. We had interviews with all of the artists that submitted, that made it to the final round. And Brett's been involved every step of the way with this process. And every step of the way, every bit of the process, we're checking back with him to make sure that the integrity of Charley and his legacy is exactly on point with their expectations. And they're excited.
Now, that's part of the participation that came from Brett Harper, but also you invited the public to be part of this process too. And we won't know exactly how until the unveiling, but how were the public invited to be part of this?
So with his concept, we knew that we were going to be working with 4 images that Charley created. And so what we did was we created a voting process so the public could help pick those top 4 pieces that would be featured. And it was very clear and overwhelming that the public came back with a very specific direction, and they got it right. The public got it right.
One thing I'd like both of you to tell me is, what do you hope this space and this sculpture will be to the public after the reveal? What do you hope to see when you drive by and the people take away from them?
Well, as an artist, so much of what you can achieve and what you attempt is based on what space you think something's going to end up in, right? It's a totally different process to put a piece together that you would like to be seen in a museum versus this one's going to be near an intersection, right? So 9 out of 10 people that are looking at this piece are probably looking at it from their car, and I believe most people will be seeing it very frequently, hopefully. So I wanted it to be something that felt like it engaged you every time you saw it, and something that caught your eye no matter how many times you'd driven past it, right? There's so much noise visual noise all around us all the time, right? So this is something where hopefully as you're, doing your daily commute or running around doing errands, every time you come past that corner, you're excited to see this piece. So that was kind of one of the things that intrigued me the most about the idea was that I think it suits really well how most people will be able to view it most frequently.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Kim? What are you hoping the township takes away when they drive through that corner?
I want it to have a wow factor. I want people to identify Springfield Township as a cutting edge, very artsy community. I see Winton Road as a continued canvas for us. We had the mural that was originally at Brentwood Bowl, the Creatress mural that's there. The street banners are part of our gallery, and now we'll have this sculpture, and I just hope to continue building upon it and making a name for us and our community, that we're just embracing the arts, and this is what brings people together. The arts connect us. The arts, provide vibrancy for a community, and that's our ultimate goal.
Now, beyond the sculpture itself, I know you were just telling me there's some more features that will be part of this space. Can you tell me about those, Kim?
Yeah, so we'll have a sign at the space for those who are walking by, and the sign will have a QR code on it. When they activate that QR code, there'll be several things that people can learn. You can learn more about Charley Harper. You can learn more about Micah. You can learn more about living center to it all in Springfield Township. You can learn a little bit more about Arts Connect and the programming that we have. But there's also an augmented reality gamification that we are creating to go along with it too. So, and we have the ability through that QR code to keep changing that gamification out at different points through the year. So we anticipate that that'll be a project that continues on, and it'll always be a surprise and something else that we can launch to redraw excitement to that space.
So that means as many times as we drive by this site, we should plan to make sure we park and stop and walk over. And La Rosa's and Graders are right there, so
Well, darn.
it would just be a
my arm to
terrible
go
place to stop, really.
Get your J Gumbos and your Subway.
Yes, Jay Gumbo. Yes. Anyway, there's a lot of places there, and they did not ask to be part of this program, but you should just go look. But while you're there, we all have smartphones on us now. So what a great way, and we're always looking at them. So why not use them and
Yes.
engage in this space a little bit
Yeah.
more? I love that.
And honestly, the QR code will take you to a space on the Arts Connect website. So if you are not able to get to that QR code and you're very curious about the gaming aspect of it, people can still go to our website, find that location very easily. We'll probably have something on the homepage for quite a while.
Is there anything else you want to make sure people know, short of showing you? We can't show you yet. The reveal is October 8th, so you have to wait for that. But is there anything else you want people to know about this?
Is there anything else?
Nothing comes to mind immediately.
Okay.
They'll know it all soon.
They will, that's true. He can't tell you now because it's not the reveal.
Yeah, we'll all find out about the sculpture very soon, but definitely stay connected with Arts Connect and all of the activities and programs that are going on. And it is always evolving, and we're always looking for what's the next thing.
Yeah, because I'll just say, and it's another whole many programs to really go into what Arts Connect is doing. But if you go on the website, there are classes for kids and classes for grown-ups and special events and all kinds of things that Arts Connect is doing, and it's all on the website. So.
Yeah. Everything is there.
Well, thank you, both of you, for coming in. I feel like we could talk about more details, but really, they should just go to the unveiling and go see the sculpture in person and listen to you talk about it then. So I really appreciate you coming in. And thank you for watching, because that means you're all ready to go to the unveiling, and we'll see you next time.